Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Magical Maiden, and welcome to Magical Maiden's Jewelry Tutorials. So my playlist is the second playlist, the jewelry tutorial playlist on my channel. So I hope you go check out my other videos after you watch this one, of course. So today what I have for you is a craft, or actually two different crafts using materials. Now, some of you may have already seen my two past videos, one with making geometric shaped necklace in a silver material, and the other one with these nice teal earrings. So if you haven't seen those two videos, go ahead and check them out after you watch this. So this one I'm going to be using the same ones. Now, what I did, I'm going to show you my material. I went to Hobby Lobby, so you can find these at Hobby Lobby. Now they were bigger, they're the size of a paper. They're like mats, and the price is $2.49. But you know, you can also get a lot of sales at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes they have 40 and 50% off. So I got this nice blue, and this is the one I'm using today. Now you can see I cut it because what you do is you have to trace and things like that, and then cut. And then I use these to make my earrings, so that's why this one's smaller. And then I use this to make the geometric shapes, but they're all the size of a piece of paper, you know, 8 by 10, 8 by 11. This is more of a felt. I picked this up, and this is cardstock. I like the sparkly. So this is thicker cardstock, and this is a felt with sparkles in it. And these are more like a rubber mat. They're actually hand washable. You could just take a sponge and, you know, rinse it or whatever. The back is kind of thick, like a mat that you would use as a placemat or something. And they're pretty thick. This one's a little, the blue is a little thinner, probably because you see how thick the scales, the crystally, sparkly scales are compared to this. So it's not as thick and heavy, the blue. But this is just as thick and heavy as the green. So, and the cardstock is good to use as well. And some of you that have seen my jewelry tutorials in the past might have come across where I've used black cardstock. I used it in earrings, I used it in necklaces, pendants, and so much more. Also, there'll be something coming up where I show you how you can use these to make some bohemian beads, boho beads. So that'll be another time, because you can get really creative with all of these. But today I am showing you something I'm making with this color, this mat. And again, see, it's like a material, and they're very wipeable. So, okay, so I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to show you what I have. Now, before I start, I want to tell you some of the things that you're going to need for this project. So the first thing you're going to need is some scissors. Obviously, you're going to need those materials, the scissors, a Sharpie, and you're going to need some jewelry working tools. You're going to need some jump rings. You're also going to need some earring fish hooks. Now, I have two different types. I have ones with the ball, and then this one's without the ball and has like a flat, you know, surface. You can use any type of earring fish hooks you want. And if you like post earrings, they have the type that you can glue. I have them, but they're somewhere in my little kit there. And you just glue them to the back. But I really don't like wearing post earrings as much. They pinch my ears and create those little balls in there. So if you have that issue too and you prefer fish hooks, that's what I prefer. Okay. And the other thing you're going to need is some kind of pendant tray. For today's, I got the square one, but you can get round or oval and any size, any, you know, this is just something I've had for a couple of years now, just sitting in my box. I figured I'd utilize it. Okay. And then, of course, the next thing you're going to need is some E6000 glue. And also like something to spread the glue, like a popsicle stick or a toothpick. You're a popsicle stick or a toothpick. And you'll need a paper towel because sometimes E6000 glue gets a little messy. But you don't need to use a lot of E6000 glue. A little goes a long way. Okay, and I'm just going to put this aside. Okay, so the first thing you'll want to do with this, and I went ahead for time's sake and I cut them all out already. I traced them. So here it is. So we're going to get these out of the way, and the first thing I'm going to concentrate on is how to make a pendant. You get a pendant tray, any shape, any size, any type of decorative one, it doesn't really matter, whatever you want. And then you're going to get this paper. It's material, not really paper, it's like a mat. And then you're going to get a Sharpie, and then pick a size. What I did for this particular one was I took this and I laid it flat, and I took my Sharpie, and of course you can't go around that, but I just went like this, and then I went all the way around by holding my finger. When that was done, I cut the black line that I made with the Sharpie, and then I got this. Now sometimes they don't always come out perfect, so then you can size it to make sure that it'll fit. You might have to trim it very slowly, you know, and little by little, just to make sure that it's going to sit in really good and be able to show your decorative edge. So I think that I've trimmed it enough that it'll go in here, but I'm taking a second look because it looks like it could probably take off another hair off the side. So go very slow with this. Don't take off too much. Start by taking off very little, because if you take off too much, then you're going to have to start all over again with the tracing and the cutting. Okay, so get that out of the way, get this out of the way. Now what you want to do is you want to place it in and see how it's sitting there. Well, this is nice, but I still have a little extra up top. And then we'll clean this up. All right, now let's see how it's fitting. And that's much better. So what I'm going to do, this part is simple when you're doing this one. So I'm going to take my E6000 glue, and either you can use your toothpick or a popsicle stick or one of these stir sticks. I got this at Hobby Lobby. And my E6000 glue, and just put a little bit. Don't put a lot because a little goes a long way. And now I'm going to put it in there and start smearing it. I probably put a little too much. You really don't need that much. So I'm going to wipe off the excess. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the glue is getting towards the edge, because you want to make sure that your material stays put on the edges and doesn't pop up. So, you know, just kind of, and then if you get any on the edge, just take a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol to remove it, okay? So now that I am happy with the amount that I have and that it's nice and flat and over the edge, I'm going to wipe off the excess off my stir stick because I'm probably going to use that later. And now I'm going to position this, and I'm going to take this material and I'm going to start putting this in. And what I like about the E6000 glue is it gives you a little time to move it around, where if you used a glue gun it would be lumpy, bumpy, and the minute you put it down, that's it. You're not going to be able to budge it. And then you get all the strings attached. So this is it. Any glue You can always wipe it later. But what I'm going to use now, and you can use anything, I'm using an old nail file, and kind of push down the edges. Popsicle stick, or I would use the thing I put the glue on, my stir stick, but it has glue on it. And you can use a toothpick as well, but I don't want to poke any holes through it. So once you got the edges down and do the center, kind of push it, make sure it's there. Now with E6000 glue, it takes 24 hours to fully cure. I mean, in 20 minutes it's pretty much there, but I would wait before I wore it. And if you're making these to sell or give as gifts, also wait before you package them, just to make sure it's good. And then if you got any glue, go ahead with a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol and wipe the sides. So when you're happy with that and you think it's sufficient and you think everything went in there nicely, give it a good look. Make sure everything's sitting the way you want that to sit. Okay, so there it is. Now it's ready to attach to any necklace you want or choker. And I'm trying to get you a good view. So maybe I'll up this like a little. And there it is. It's all glittery and it's simple to do, so you don't have to paint and use messy paints and glitter and get it all over the place, or glitter nail polish. You can certainly get that same sort of effect with nail polish and glitter, but this is better. So there it is. That's it. Let's get on to our next project. So I'm going to put that aside. Now I've already went ahead and cut the shapes out for time purposes, of course. So what I did was I want to make earrings with geometric shapes. So again, I took the blue material, okay, and I went on the back and I took my Sharpie. Now I didn't have, what I did was I first did a triangle, and then I cut the triangle in half. And the reason is because you're going to have two pieces to make it double-sided, because it is earrings and you will see the back, okay? So I made two of these and I cut them in half, and then you have your four pieces. Then I had to do circles, and I also need four pieces because we're going to again use the E6000 glue to do it on the back. So that's what I did. Now there's many things you can do with this. You can even double layer your earrings like this, or you can use another color. For instance, you can use the silver over that. I'm going to show you. Let me get it. All right. So you can use the silver and cut another triangle and overlap it, and then take another piece and overlap it and have kind of like the silver in the middle. And so it's like a 3-layer necklace that's over it. And then for the back, it's going to be kind of hard to cover it, so you could just do one big piece to cover it, or get some cardboard cut out and paint that, or what have you, okay? Or you could already double side it and then go ahead and glue the different layers on. But that's just an idea. But today we're going to do something different. I might do that in the future, and if so, I'll make a jewelry tutorial showing you that. Okay, now don't worry if you're not that great at making shapes. Use a ruler or something to keep your line straight. I use my nail file, anything that's small enough so you can do that. Have your E6000 glue ready, have a toothpick ready, or your stir stick, which I have. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is start gluing the pieces together. Okay, and you're going to want to make sure that they're lined up precisely, and they should be. If they're not, you can go ahead and cut them, but I want to make sure that they're going to line up. And I'm going to take them You can do any shapes you want, like I said. Is I'm going to put those together like this, and those over here like this. And now I'm going to take some of my glue. For this, I think I'm going to use my toothpick instead of my stir stick. And I'm going to, you don't need a lot, okay? Just a little will do, because you want to be careful. So I'm just going to put a little there, a little on my next one. Okay. And then I'm going to proceed to spreading it. Make sure you get the edges. And I might start using my stir stick to spread it. It works out a little better. Be gentle and go slow, because you really don't want to get this on the front of your material. And take your time. Kind of leaving that. Now I'm going to take my other half and I'm going to kind of glue them together. Okay, so like I said, you have time to move it around and position it. And if it's not perfect, you can go and trim the excess after you have it all dry. And once you pinch the edges, you also want to go like this and press down and make sure it's good. Now, if you have excess on the back of it, like I do, see? You want to trim that off so it's really neat. And then that's it. So I'm going to do the rest of this off camera for time's sake, and then we'll go on to the next step once they're all glued. So I have the shapes now all glued. I have the front and back, and I trimmed any excess that was sticking out from the other one, okay? So my earrings are going to look like this. Now if you see any that you missed, you can go with the scissor and trim it off. Once you've got them all glued, trimmed, and ready to roll, the next thing you need to do is decide how you're going to line them up. Okay? What you're going to need is some jump rings, either 6mm, 4mm, some earring fish hooks, and you're also going to need your jewelry working tools like your chain nose and round nose, and a push pin. Okay, so we're going to put 2 chains on either side. So you're also going to need some kind of chain. And I'm going to just pierce this. And I'm going to line these up so that they're on the same. And it's going to go through all of them. And you don't want to put the push pin too far to the end. You know what I mean? You do want to leave a little room. And you want to make sure it goes all the way through. Okay. And you're going to do the same for the top of each circle. But to make it wide, what you want to do is get your round nose pliers and in the front kind of stick that in. You see how it's kind of rounded, but don't put it all the way through, just a little bit, and then go like that. See, that's as far as I'm going. And then look, see, it's wide enough, the hole is wide enough. I don't know if you're getting that. Same for all the corners, just halfway, and go like that, and then they'll be round enough that you can see them to put your jump rings in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and you're going to do the same for the circle. So I made sure that the holes were wide enough. Now you're going to need some chain. You can get these spools of chain in Hobby Lobby and most craft stores, or order them online. Or you could also get like finer ones that come in a strand. Okay? And you could also do it. So I'm not sure if I want that or the shinier, but I might go for the shiny look. So I'm going to put this aside. And then I'm going to cut this. Now you can make it as long or as short as you want, so you will need your cutter tool. And how long do you want it to hang? So I think I'm going to cut it right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 4 pieces and we're going to get some jump rings. So I'm going to use some 4mm jump rings for this part. Take my round nose and chain nose pliers and open it. And again, to make those holes, all you need is a push pin and your round nose, and don't push it all the way through, just a little bit, because you don't want a humongous hole, because otherwise then it rips. So now I'm going to put my jump ring through. Okay, so now that you got both chains on there, you're going to take another jump ring. Now you can use 6 or 4mm for this project, it doesn't matter, or you can use a combination of them, you know, like 4mm here and 6mm in the center, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the 4mm. So I attach these with 4mm jump rings. Okay, and now you're going to take the chains and you're going to loop the chains together with another 4mm jump ring. But again, like I said, you can use whatever size jump ring you prefer. So once you've attached both ends with the jump rings through the holes that you made, you're going to take the 2 even chains, and in the center you're going to put another jump ring. Make sure that jump ring is closed. So that's what it's going to look like. And now at the very top, we're going to put an earring fish hook. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach the other chains to the other side. Okay, so now I have them. They're all ready to go. And now what I want to do is the holes that I made, I'm going to line them up, because I'm going to get at least 2 different jump rings, and I also have to make a hole at the end here. Okay, so now when you've made another hole in the bottom and you put the jump ring through, now you got to get your other ones with your hole that you made over here, and you got to stick a jump ring through that. All I did was I hooked 2 4mm jump rings, but you can use 6, and you're probably better off, and about 2 inch to an inch chain, however long you want it to hang, and 3 6mm in the middle, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Now I'm going to complete the other one and I'll be right back. So here it is. Here are the earrings. They're all finished, and that's the way they're going to look like when they hang on your ear. And here they are, the geometric shapes using the blue material, and that's how they're going to look. And it looks really good. So if you want something fun with geometric shapes, you can wear this. Okay, so I'll take that light off so you can see it a little bit different. But there they are. If you enjoyed this craft, and remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Click that notification bell so you're notified when I upload my newest content. And hit the like button because it helps my channel. And share this if you know anybody that'd be interested in this craft. as well as comment if you have any question on this craft or about the materials or anything, or if you just want to say hello. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my videos. Bye.